Hello, everyone. This is Compass, navigating legal studies for your mission. This video is a legal essay practice for law students and bar exam takers. Today's topic is freedom of speech and the press. Problem. Casey is a well-known environmental activist and author who frequently speaks against single-use plastics. She publicly advocates for companies to adopt eco-friendly practices and claims she uses only sustainable products. Journalist Blake received a credible tip that Casey was regularly buying single-use plastic items at a local convenience store. To investigate, Blake entered the store after hours through an unlocked side door, constituting trespass under local law, and checked receipts in the trash near the counter. Later, while standing on a public sidewalk, Blake photographed Casey leaving the store carrying several plastic water bottles. Blake published a news story in the Daily Enviro claiming that Casey was being hypocritical by purchasing single-use plastics. However, the photograph used in the article clearly showed plastic bottles Casey was carrying, but the store's receipts were inaccurately attributed to Casey. Blake honestly believed Casey purchased those items based on the tip, but never confirmed the details. Problem 1. Could the First Amendment preclude liability if Casey sued the Daily Enviro for defamation, arguing that the news story damaged her reputation as an environmental advocate? 2. Could the convenience store sue Blake for trespass? 3. Could Casey sue the Daily Enviro for invasion of privacy based on the publication of the news story and photograph? Number 1. Issue. Does the First Amendment preclude a defamation claim for damages caused by a published story about a public figure? Rule. A public figure must prove defamation by showing the statement was false, caused harm, and was made with actual malice. That is knowledge of falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. The First Amendment limits liability when the statement involves matter of public concern. Application. Casey is a public figure as an environmental activist advocating against plastics. The claim hinges on whether the Daily Enviro acted with actual malice. Blake honestly believed the receipts were linked to Casey based on a credible tip. However, Blake failed to verify this and attributed purchases to Casey inaccurately, even though verifying receipts would have been reasonable. The story's inaccurate details might show a reckless disregard for the truth. On the other hand, Casey was photographed in public carrying plastic bottles, which supports the claim of hypocrisy. While the receipts are inaccurate, the image itself is truthful and indicates her use of single-use plastics, a matter of public concern. Therefore, Casey may struggle to prove actual malice. While the story contains inaccuracy, it also relies on publicly observable behavior. Thus, the First Amendment likely protects the daily enviro. Second, does the First Amendment protect a journalist who trespasses while investigating a public figure? Rule: trespass involves the intentional unauthorized entry onto another's property. The First Amendment does not provide a privilege to trespass, even when pursuing matters of public interest. Application: Blake entered the store after hours through an unlocked side door without permission, constituting a clear trespass. The fact that the investigation aimed to expose a public figure does not excuse this unlawful entry. Courts consistently reject the First Amendment as a defense for trespass claims. Therefore, the convenience store can successfully sue Blake for trespass. Number 3. Issue: can Casey sue for invasion of privacy due to the publication of a news story and photograph revealing private offensive facts? Rule: publishing private facts may be actionable if the disclosure is highly offensive and not of legitimate public concern. However, public figures and matters of public interest are afforded less protection, especially when information is gathered lawfully. The photograph of Casey carrying plastic bottles was taken from a public sidewalk. That is a lawful and public observation. Additionally, Casey's advocacy against plastics makes her actions a matter of public concern. While the story inaccurately attributed the receipts to Casey, the factual disclosure that she used plastic bottles addresses a legitimate public interest. Her environmental credibility. As a public figure, Casey would need to prove actual malice, which is unlikely given Blake's honest belief in the story's accuracy. Conclusion: Casey cannot successfully claim invasion of privacy because the publication pertains to a matter of public concern and the photograph was lawfully obtained in public. Let's wrap up this session by revisiting the key rules. A public figure must prove defamation by showing the statements false, caused harm, and was made with actual malice. That is, knowledge of falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. The First Amendment limits liability when the statement involves matters of public concern. Trespass involves the intentional unauthorized entry onto another's property. The First Amendment does not provide a privilege to trespass, even when pursuing matter of public interest. Publishing private facts may be actionable if the disclosure is highly offensive and not of legitimate public concern. However, public figures and matters of public interest are afforded less protection, especially when information is gathered lawfully. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. God bless you.